Hi YouTubers, Phoenix Talon back in Creativerse. I'm going to do something a little different today that I don't normally do. I'm going to make a tutorial, so bear with me. The reason for this tutorial is I wanted some chasing lights like this that you see before you. But the thing was, I went on YouTube and there wasn't a tutorial for chasing lights, so I had to make my own. And, well, maybe there is, but it was so hard to find that who cares, right? And how worthless would that be if you can't find something? So I'm making this one. Now, it looks complicated, but it's not really. It's actually quite easy to do. And keep in mind that I'm not the world's smartest individual, so if I say it's easy, then it's probably easy. So, we'll go ahead and take a look at this in our little electric wiring tool, and we're going to go ahead and build this. Now, the cool thing is, before we get started, understand that this is expandable. Meaning, I could tack on 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 18. See, like I said, not very smart. That's how I count. It really is. I just happen to have 5 here. So we'll go ahead and build the contraption, the machine. And then what we'll do is, after that, I'll go ahead and explain why it works and how it works. So we'll turn that off. Because, oh, and then this one over here, I was testing something, and I'll explain how that works too if you're really interested. But mostly, let's go ahead and build this thing right over, I don't know, right here looks good. And then we'll go ahead and see what we got. So we're going to need 5 LEDs, so we get the 5 lights. And we'll just pick a spot here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, you also need a total of 6 logic gates. But we just need 5 to start with, okay? So get those. That's probably not the way I'm going to want those facing. This way. There we go. All right, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's not where 5 goes. They were kind of hard to place. There we go. Now, as far as the these go, the delay gates, we're going to need 5 of those. The 6th one here is extraneous, but I'll explain why it's there too. Okay, so we'll go getting 5 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, like I said, we need 6 logic gates. So we'll go ahead and build one here. Or, actually, we'll put it there. That's what I was trying to get done. We need a switch for power. And we don't need this last one, but if we want to, I'll go ahead and I'll put it in so you can see what it does. Alright, the next thing we got to do is figure out a naming convention. Now, we could just go ahead and start, hitting that to that and that to that and all that stuff. But that's not how I do business, okay? I do business neat. So, you come in here, and we want to make sure 2 things. 1, that it's an AND gate, alright, which they automatically default to, so that's too easy. Then we come up with a naming convention. We'll call it tutorial, so we'll do tut for short. Tutorial gate 1. Then you take your cursor and you highlight that. Control C to copy and press save. Don't worry about the inputs right now. Then we come over here to the second one. Again, make sure it's AND, which it should be. Gate 2. So you just Control V, backspace, press 2. Come over here. Same thing for number 3. Go ahead and in, Control V, backspace 3. There it is. Come back to the number 4, press in, Control V, it's going to be number 4. This is our output, right? This is what we're sending out. Okay, press in for the next one, Control V, and 5. Okay, excellent. Now we got to name our delay gates. Our delay gates, we're just going to call them timers because we already used gate for logic gate. So, yeah. Come up to the first one, press in. Now, we're going to make sure of 2 things with this one also. We're going to name it, so we're going to call it tutorial, and I'm just going to call mine timers. Timer 1. And the other thing we want to do is change the delay. Now, there's 2 ways to do that. You can use the slider bar right here, which is pretty easy to use. We're going to make it 0.5. Or you can click on it here, backspace, and 0.5, like that. However you want to do it. It does the same thing either way. So come over here, press in. We're going to go ahead and Control V that. Nope, we didn't rename it the right way. I'm sorry, I forgot to Control C the other one. There we go. Control timer. We're going to call it number 2. Let's highlight it and Control C this time, right? Okay, we'll delay 5, or 0.5 rather. Come over to the third one, press N, Control V, 3, delay of 0.5, save. Next one, this is number 4. Delay of 0.5, there you are. And the last one, this is number 5, delay of 0.5. And we got it good. All right, don't worry about the inputs right now. We're going to set those up as we go. Same with the lights. The inputs will automatically happen as we drag over the sends. And that's the important thing. All right, so now we've got our switch here. So we're going to go ahead and press N on that. And we're going to call this tutorial switch, or whatever you want to call it. I think I've got all those named lights switch, lights gate, and lights all that. All right, and then this last one. This last logic gate is our reset. Okay, so we need this to be, and you just trust me, I'll explain why it has to be this way during the explanation. Hi Pigsy, how's it going? Just walking right through my tutorial. The Pigsy just has no care in the world. Pigsy don't care. Pigsy don't give a, yeah, you know what I was going to say there. All right, you know, honey badger, never mind. All right, so instead of being an AND gate, you want it to be an XOR gate. And I'll explain why when we do the explanation, but trust me. So we'll call this one tutorial, and we'll call this one reset, not CSET, reset. There you go. Wow, I can't type today. Press save. There you go. Okay, so now we've got our sends, we've got everything, we've got all of our sends are ready to go. Now here's the thing you got to keep in mind. Power needs to go to each one of these, okay? Each one of these logic gates. It needs to have power because it's going to say and something, right? So this and this. If it's this, it's true. Or if it's both of them, it's true. So we want it to have power because if it doesn't have power, then it won't work. So the way you do this is you just click send. You drag this thing over to receive and try to keep these, you know, consistent so that you know, hi Pigsy, look at that, just right across my gates, right across the, you know, I bet that's the same one that got all mad about the diamonds and things, you know, reincarnated. All right, so what I said, receive, all right, click on send and receive. So now all of your logic gates should have at least one receive from the power, okay, or from the switch rather. Okay, awesome. Now the next thing that they have to have is they need to have a way of saying that, hey, I need to actually reset. So you're going to reset the next one. So we're going to take send from the first timer or from the first delay gate, and we're going to put it to the receive, the open receive slot of the second gate, like that. And then we're going to do that with the second one going to the third going to the fourth, and fourth going to the fifth. And you say, well, where does the fifth one go? Don't worry about that. I'll show you that here in a second. All right, next, we need to find a way to get this one to kickstart, right? And to get this timer kick-started. Well, there's a very simple way of doing these timers. You'll notice that these sends haven't gone anywhere yet. These sends have to go to their associated timer. So what you need to do is get this send from the first gate and go to the timer. The timer's received. So trust me on this one. I'll tell you why in a minute. Again, send to receive. Send to receive. Just go right across. Just go right across. See how that works? Send to receive and send to receive. So you should have now logic gate 1 send should be going to the receive of timer 1 or delay gate 1. You see how that works? Gate 2, timer 2. Gate 3, timer 3. Gate 4, timer 4. Gate 5, timer 5. This is really too easy, folks. Next, the send for the timers. The send for the timers are going to go to their associated LEDs. So this timer is going to go to that LED. So timer 1, LED 1. Timer 2, LED 2. Timer 3, LED 3. Timer 4, LED 4. Timer 5, LED 5. Now, you say, well, wait, I want different color LEDs because these should be white. Well, what if you want different colors? Then go to your LEDs, press 1, and you'll notice it's receiving the timer 1. Then what we're going to do is you can do this can interactor if you want or not. And then we're going to make these blue. I like that color of blue. That's a good color. So just drag whatever colors you want. If you don't want can interact, you press that and hit save. What that means is, like, I can right click and turn that on and off. If it's, I can't do it now. All right, I can still press in. There we go. I can still press in and get to it. I'm going to keep this so that we can play with it. But I can't turn it on and off if I do that. All right, so we'll get that. Turn these. Actually, you know what? Let's have. No, it looks better if they're all the same. It really does, because they're chasing lights. You know, you want to have the same color chasing the same color. It looks better. So we're just pressing in on all of these, changing the color and pressing save. So that's up to you, however you want to do that. Okay, so we got those saved up. Now, how do we get this thing started? It's not enough for me to just turn this on. It's not going to work. Okay, it's not going to work. If you notice, nothing's coming into this receive, and there's no way to reset this. So we're going to check or take this send from our reset gate, and we're going to put it to our receive of our first logic gate. And you notice it went ahead and clicked the timer over, and that's okay. It'll do that. Now we need to take care of our receives here. All right, and our receives are going to be handled by, if you look real quick, our receives we don't have to really worry about. We just have to worry about the incoming from here, is what I'm trying to say. But that's actually wrong. I think I must have been playing with that. So if you want 3, go to the third one and do that. Then you need power coming from here to go to there. All right? So what this is doing is it's saying, okay, well, we're getting the reset signal from here, which will be our third one. You could do it with the 5. You know what? Let's do it with that. That way you can see the full thing. All right? So we'll do it from 5 just so you can see the full thing. And then power from here, which will turn it on. So we'll turn it on, and it'll go ahead and do all 5. All right? So if you're coming from the 5th one, it will do all 5. And I don't know why this is not set up properly. Let's fix that. I don't know why that connection is broken. All right, that kind of bothered me. I've got OCD in a worst way, let me tell you. Anyway, I looked at it, I was like, wait. All right, so when we're coming from the 5th one like this, it'll work by lighting all 5, and then it'll go ahead and take out all 5. If you want it from, let's say, the 3rd one, like what I wanted, you go ahead and pull from the 3rd one, and it'll go ahead and receive that from the 3rd one. Now when it runs through, it's going to do 3 at a time, and then have 3 blank spaces between. See? If you want to do 2, you take it from the 2 and put it there. Now it's going to have 2 lights and 2 blank spaces in between. See how that works? If you do 1, yes, it still works for 1, but you can't really tell that it's moving. It just kind of looks like switching lights. See? But if you're doing Christmas lights, that's pretty cool, you know, I guess. I mean, if that's what you're doing, right? I'm sure there's an easier way to do it if you're going to do Christmas lights, though, like that. Okay? 4 is the same. You do 4, and it'll do that. All right, so I promised you it's infinitely expandable. So we'll do 3 real quick. Now, I'm going to show you, because I have a little room here, we'll do 2. Yeah, we'll do 2. And it doesn't matter, just, you know, set this up however you want. I'm just gonna really pump these down. Now, obviously, they're not doing anything right now. So you can set this up the same way you were setting up the other ones. You can set this up like this. You take this one, put it there, take that one, put it there, just like I was doing before, only I think I got these backwards, but nah, whatever, you know, you get the idea. We'll take from power and put it in one of the receives there. Take from power and put it in one of the receives there. Now, you need the send from that to go here, the send from that to go there. These have absolutely no timing to them. So we'll put these at 0.5 also. And 0.5. Did I hit the wrong? Yeah, it's this one. There we go. And 0.5 there. All right, now, if you take these and put them to their appropriate lights, they will also light up. See? So you can kind of see the three-way thing now a little bit better. So there you go. And if we were to change the color, you would see. But you can see how easy it was to set that up and to keep it expanding. It doesn't require a lot of effort, really. Now, what's cool about this is I could have these lights way the heck over there. And as long as I know what my naming convention is for these lights, like this, for example, is tutorial timer 5, then I could go ahead and put that over there, and any lights that were set to tutorial timer 5 would light up. Like right over here. I could do a light way over here and say, you know what, I want this one to light up with tutorial timer 5. Alright, now it's going to light up whenever that one lights up, and it's going to go off whenever that one goes off, see? So that's pretty cool. So we're going to go ahead and just remove that because that's not what the point was. And we're also going to remove these so we don't get confused on what we're doing here. Alright, so and then everything will just work like normal, see? No issues. Alright, now, this is the part where we find out how it works. So, if this is all you wanted to know, then thank you for watching. I hope that you have fun building this, but if you want to know how it works, please stick around, and I'm going to show you how it works, okay? So let's talk about how it works now. Alright, let's turn it off, though, first, because that's very loud. Okay, whew. I mean, I don't know how loud it is in your ears, so that's pretty loud in my ears. Okay, so we've got some AND gates here. Now, the way an AND gate works is pretty easy. And I should probably have the wiring tool out. AND gates work like this. It works off of logic, things that are true and false, on or off, yes or no. So if it gets an input that is on, or yes, or true, meaning this happened, and then it gets another input that it happened, then it compares the two. And if they both happened, an AND gate will allow that to pass through as, hey, guess what? These two things happened and it's true. So that's cool. Now, if one of them is not true, meaning I get this one that's true over here and this one that's false over here, and they go together and they say, wait, they're not the same thing. So it's not true and true. It's true and false. So it will deliver a false because it's saying they didn't happen. Okay? That's an AND gate. All right, XOR gate. This one is a little bit harder to understand. It's like this. It will take, and it explains it right here. See? And XOR. All right. It says, if this one is true, or this one is true, or, like, this one is true, this one is false. So one of them is true, right? Is this one or this one? If this one is false and this one is true, well, guess what? One of them is still true. Now, it will say, if this is true, as long as one of them is, it will go ahead and deliver true. However, it's an XOR gate, meaning if both of them are true, it will deliver false. It doesn't like it if both of them are there, because that's XOR, okay? XOR. It's different from OR, okay? So it will say, true, false, great. I'm going to deliver you as true. Now, it's very important that you put that as XOR. If you don't, it doesn't work. The whole thing falls apart. Okay? So, XOR. So, what the AND gate is looking for is power, is the first thing that it's looking for, along all of these. So, when you turn the switch on, it's saying true to all of these powers, which is why the whole thing doesn't work if you put down if you don't put down an AND gate here or power here. If you turn power off, these are going to be all false, right? And what's cool is it tells you what it is. It says state, false. If I turn that on, it says state is true. See how easy this is? You couldn't make it any easier than that. All right, when these are outputting true or false, it's letting you know that as well. Okay, so the next thing it's getting is a signal. It's getting a signal. Now, the big reason this has to be an XOR gate from the start is right now it's getting its signal from where? Way over here, right? From delay gate 3. Delay gate 3 state is currently false, so that means it's getting a false right here. The switch, when I turn it on, is giving this a true, and because it's XOR, it's going to say I've got at least one true. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to send a true signal, and that's what it does. It sends this true signal way over here to gate 1. So now you've got power here and a true signal coming from here. So it says, hey, I'm true, because it's an AND gate. I've got two trues. Boom. Now, what it does is it sends the true signal over here to the clock, or the timer, delay gate. The delay gate right now is reading false because the last signal it got was a false signal. But if it gets a true signal, it's going to do the clock thingy, the delay gate, for whatever time it is, 0.5 in this case. Could be a second or two, it doesn't matter, but 0.5 for us. It's going to delay 0.5, then it will go ahead and give us a true output, which means this is going to send a true output to the light, and that's going to turn the light on after the delay. Okay, it's important to remember that. Also, after the delay, it's going to send out a true signal up here to this gate, which is an AND gate, which is also receiving a power signal. So as soon as it gets that, it gets the true from this. It says, I've got power. So now it sends a true signal to this delay gate. And it does the same thing this one does. It delays for 0.5, sends its true signal out, and there you go. So now it is true. And it will go ahead and push forward and so on ad nauseum. Now, once it hits delay gate 3, it could be any of the delay gates, it doesn't matter. But in this case, we've got it set to delay gate 3. So it goes here, and delay gate 3 is going to send out that true signal when it's the third one, and it comes back to here. Now this XOR gate is already getting a true signal from the power switch. So when it receives the true signal, right, then it's got two trues. XOR gate doesn't like two trues, so it's going to send a false. And it's going to pulse out a false signal here, which is going to make this pulse false, which is going to make the clock delay another 0.5 and then send out its false signal. And when it's got its false signal that comes out, boom, the light turns off. It pulses here, light turns off. It pulses here, light turns off. Until what? This sends out that signal and it comes back here as a false signal because it's the third one. It sends out its false pulse and then it starts over because now it's got a false and a true. XOR gate likes the false and the true, sends out its true, and starts it all over again. That's why at 3, you get 3 on lights and 3 off lights. At 4, you get 4 on lights and 4 off lights, because every fourth pulse is going to be false or true. See how that works? Pretty easy, isn't it? Told you this was a piece of cake. So anyway, so I was sitting around with this, and this is what I wanted. So I was playing around with the gates, and I got it to work, obviously. And that's how it does work. So let's say you're not happy with that. Let's say these delays are not giving you quite what you want. You want something different. You can play with these delays. You can make one light go on longer or not, or whatever you want to do with it, because you just change the delay of any one of these, and you can do that. So let's say I want to change. You know what? Let's change 4 because that's fun. We'll change 4 to 2 seconds. Okay, watch what happens. So change 4 to 2 seconds. And you get your pulse, right? Now it hasn't gone on yet. Now it goes on. So now everything's a little delayed. You notice how it's working now. It changes how it works, but it's consistent. There's a pattern. So depending on what pattern you want to have of your lights, you can change these timers to do what you want, okay? So I'm just letting you know you can do it. You can customize this slightly, all right? And if you want further customization, let's turn that off. We'll throw in another delayer here. And what we're going to do is, I'm not going to worry about renaming this right now. But this one, we're going to go ahead. You know what? Yeah, we will name it. We'll send output of tutorial delay. And we're only doing one anyway. So we'll do like 2 seconds. That's a pretty good delay. And we'll send that to the output here. All right, so that rewrites the output there. And we want it to receive from the same one, from 3. Okay, now you could do this for, actually it's really cool if you do it from 5. Let's do it from 5 instead. Because now, let's say you wanted to make a sign that was like, eat at Joe's. Actually, I guess it would go that way from your perspective. Eat at Joe's. And then you wanted it to stay lit for a while, right? Eat at Joe's. boom, 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 like that, right? Okay, then that's how it would go. So watch this. So it'll light all these up. They're going to stay on for a while. Then they're going to shut off after 2 seconds. See how that works? And then in 2 seconds, they're going to come back. So 2 seconds. See how that works? So you can delay the whole system. You can delay the whole system by putting something here. You see, so you can have your lights stay on for a while and then stay off for a while and delay the whole system by putting a delay right there. Okay, so that's totally up to you what you want to do. Then we'll put it to 3 here. So it's going to delay the 3. So you have 3 come out, but it's actually not going to be 3. It's going to be more than 3, right? Because it's just going to pulse after the 3. So what does that do for us? Well, it comes on. All right. Now it's hit the 2 seconds. Now it comes off. So it's a little shorter of a time, you see? So you can play with this and have really some good customization for this. All right, so that's a little bit of that. And actually, I'm done with that one, so we'll go ahead and get rid of that. And now that it's night, it kind of looks cool, doesn't it? Yeah, it just keeps on rolling. Okay, so let's turn that off. And like I said, you know, infinitely expandable. You just tack on the extras like I showed you. All right, now what's this thing over here? Now, this is something that I did see online, and it works. Okay, I thought I heard somebody trying to attack me. And it does work, but it's a little overcomplicated for what I needed. And it works great for one light. It's a little overcomplicated for doing chaser lights. This is more like if you want to independently turn lights on or off, or if you want the lights to go on in a certain pattern and come back off in a certain pattern. This is one way to do that. The way this works is it uses what's called an inverter gate, which inverts your true-false signal. Okay, so the way you would do this is you'd go ahead and have your AND gate, and the way it would be set up is it would receive a signal for power here, so it's looking for another true signal, and the way it gets it is from this inverter gate. This inverter gate is going to send a true or a false signal, depending on its state. When it sends a true signal here, then your AND gate now registers 2 true signals, sends it to your clock, and you get your delay. Then your delay is going to send a pulse both ways. It's going to send one to the light, and it's going to send one back to the inverter. If it sends a pulse to the inverter, it's going to change the state of the inverter. All right, and when it flips a state, it's going to send us another state here, or it's going to send its state here. If it's false, this changes to false, sends it to the clock, which changes its state, which changes the state of the inverter. Which means as long as you never interrupt it and you only ever use this power right here, the state that it will always end in is true. Okay? The way that you have it will always end up in a true state. Because it will always end up with this. Here, watch. You see how it's false? Then it stays as false. The state is false. And it will send a false signal here, which inverts this to true. All right, which sends this as a state of false, and that's what turns it off. So it's a good little setup here, and it gives you exactly the amount of time on or off that this is supposed to have. So that's actually a really good way of doing it, but it's overcomplicated for what I needed. It's not what I needed. This was the easiest way to do it, and this gives me the lights that I needed, which is, for me, I wanted a chasing set of lights. And yeah, you could change these to 0 delay, but it's a little fast and hard to see. And if you get too many of this going on, I don't know if the count is just right. After all, it is programmed in Unity, so the engine itself has limitations, okay, of how many ticks it can do. Okay, so I wanted to say thank you. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. I hope it's helpful. I hope that you're able to build this. It's not really that difficult to build. It's actually quite easy. And like I said, it's quite easy to expand. But that's all I have for you. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Please let me know what you think of it. If you want me to do more tutorials like this, please let me know. If it was easy to follow, please let me know. If it was difficult to follow, also please let me know. I don't want to make something that people can't follow, because then that would be defeating the purpose of it being a tutorial. Alright, so I will catch you in the next Creativerse. Peace.